There's still a lot of prosperity in this country. Still a lot of cars driven around and a lot of TVs and a lot of activity that people, still seem to be doing quite well. But it's all on borrowed money. I mean, we have to go on our knees and bow to those that are our bankers. And this is a real shame as far as I'm concerned, and it can be reversed. So the day is coming. The monetary issue is great. The Federal Reserve, I am delighted, is the target because it wouldn't have happened without the Fed. The Fed is there to hide things. You know that when the bubble is being formed, not a whole lot of people complain. Those individuals who were on the receiving end and buying a house that didn't qualify, and they bought it for $100,000 and no money down, and the house went to $200,000 and they borrowed against that, they're a participant in this. But they're also victimized too by the promotions and the people who got to build the houses and run the mortgage companies and the Wall Streeters who are involved. They made a lot of big bucks, and when the bubble burst, guess what? Who got stuck? The average guy got stuck. The American taxpayer got stuck because we had to buy up all those worthless securities and bail out the people who had been doing so well. Who got stuck? The average guy got stuck. The American taxpayer got stuck because we had to buy up all those worthless securities and bail out the people who had been doing so well. Now, one of the reasons why looking at the Fed is so important is to find out who are the beneficiaries. They have bought up over $800 billion worth of mortgage securities. And sometimes they say they were illiquid. Well, when they're illiquid and nobody else will buy them, that's because they're worthless. But now we own them. So I think we have a right to know who got the money, how much they got paid for it, and whether they got the market price or not, and why we got stuck with the bill. One thing that happened 100 years ago or so is that we came to this conclusion that freedom was in two different sections, two segments. One is you have economic liberty, and then you also have personal liberty. That you have this personal liberty, nobody challenges. You should be able to read what you want and go to the church that you want, but you don't have a right to keep what you earn. You don't have a right to spend your money the way you see fit. So these two things were separated, and we have half of the country who defend economic liberty but not personal liberty, and the other half will defend personal liberty but not economic liberty. And then they both seem to be all mixed up on foreign policy. So why don't we just put it back together and say that we as individuals, each and every one of us, have a right to our life, our liberties, and that we ought to be able to keep the fruits of our labor. Inevitably, over many, many years, the candidate for president generally that argues the case that he would like to do less warmongering gets elected. George Bush did it in the year 2000. He was against policing the world and nation building, and he said Clinton did too much. But who was arguing the case for winding the war down in Iraq? The guy that won. He says it will have less. There's no war winding down in Iraq. We still have plenty of troops there. It's very unstable, and we're sending more contractors over there anyway.
Thank you.
But then what do? Look, we go to Afghanistan. Oh, that's the good war. That's the long war. That's okay. We're going to continue to do it. But it's not working very well at all. We're spreading the war now. This administration is spreading the war into Pakistan. And they're bugging the living daylights. They're trying to pick a fight with the Iranians. We can't do it. We spend over $1 trillion maintaining our world empire. Our empire is going to come to an end. Yeah. So I tell them in Washington, I said this on the House floor the other day, I said there were several other Republicans and Democrats, we had a special order. I said, most likely the Congress will not listen to us. They are not going to have a change in policy because we were essentially talking about whether more troops should be sent into Afghanistan. I said, they might not listen to us, but we will win the argument. Because empires come to an end because you can't afford it. We didn't have to fight the Soviet system because they collapsed on themselves for economic reasons. And that is what we're on the verge of doing. This will have to be addressed. The one reason why I'm more optimistic than ever is really because of people like you talking about something. It used to be that in the whole country, this would be the whole crowd in the whole country that would care about the Federal Reserve. But just think of the numbers of people that have gotten interest in the Federal Reserve in the last couple years. And I discovered that in the presidential campaign on the universities, on the campuses, and I still go to the campuses, and they are talking about it, and they know the importance of sound money, and they know the importance of the Constitution. Now, that would be a novel change. This only send people to Washington that understand the Constitution and then obeys the Constitution. There were a lot of people who knew about these issues and talked about them, but they were just sort of unable to get their message out because they didn't know how many there were. But today, the remnant is becoming alive again, but the young people are becoming alive again. But we have a weapon that we have been able to use and make sure this message is spread. And that is something that up until now, and we have to keep it this way, up until now, the government hasn't been able to suppress, and that is the use of the internet.
Yeah. They're trying.
Today, it's rather amazing how information can spread through the internet, and hopefully we will be able to keep the government from taking it over, but hopefully even when they try, they won't be able to because it will be so big and massive. But this is an age that we live in that we can see change come more rapidly. And right now, the American people are ready and ripe for this, and it's going to be better all the time. But the key to this is that our voices are heard and our understanding is clear so that we know what we believe in and we don't go off on tangents and don't get off on issues that aren't as important or get off into anything that hints of violence. But at this time, I believe that we have every reason to be optimistic that this can be reversed if we continue this momentum. I thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you.